With a budget of less $250, traveling along through 3 countries.
This is my second day in Kuala Lumpur.
Okay guys, 我们现在已经到了马来西亚吉隆坡。Look at this.
I've arrived in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. It feels like it just rained. The ground is still wet and sky feels a bit grey. My first plan was to visit Petronas Square, but when I got there, it was closed off.
向尾部进去。
So, not the best start. Looks like I'll head toward the Petronas Towers instead.
OK， 我们换个目标。往双塔方向走一走。
This is my first time really going through the streets of Kuala Lumpur. There are a lot of motorcycles here, which feels quite different from the places I've been before. The buildings along the road look old, like they've been here for a long time. From a distance, I spot a tall tower. I guess that must be the Kuala Lumpur Tower. As I keep walking, the buildings around me slowly become taller and more modern.
我觉得马来西亚还是一个比较现代化的一个国家吧。这块高楼非常非常多。Let me show you.
This is the Petronas Twin Towers. Seeing them in real life is artistically quite impressive. And for us, you can't really tell how tall they are. It's only when you stand underneath and truly feel the scale. There are lots of tourists taking photos below.
看到好多国人在这里拍照。
Here, I met someone from China as well. We chatted for a bit and realized we were both traveling solo with similar plans. So naturally, we decided to do travel errands for today. Little by little, the sky turns blue and the sun comes out. With the blue sky and sunlight, it really does look nice. We grab some food nearby and take a short break, then head out to Batu caves. Batu caves is one of Kuala Lumpur's most famous landmarks. It's a natural limestone cave, and also an important Hindu temple. At the foot of the hill is the first thing you see. There's a long line of colorful stairs and a huge statue. The stairs are really long. And the higher you go, the more monkeys you see. And then, what I worried about actually happened. A monkey jumped onto my friend's backpack and stole stocks. Later he told me it was something he had been saving and didn't want to eat yet. Monkeys really know how to choose. Once inside the cave, everything suddenly feels quiet. The ceiling is very high, and light shines down from above, hitting his dull walls. It doesn't feel like a place that was designed for tourists. It feels like nature itself. That feeling is kind of amazing. From high up, looking down, you start to notice how many details were hidden along the way. On the way down, there are pigeons and more monkeys nearby. Some people feed the monkeys bananas. They grab plenty in front of. It looks peaceful, but you're also middle. You might still live the inside at a moment. We take the KTM train back to the city center. It's different from what I imagined. The carriage is clean, bright, and actually quite comfortable. Kuala Lumpur is known for its fruits, so we decide to visit a local market. The goal is simple, cheap and good food. Chocolate market feels very lively. So many stores, so many people, fruits, vegetables, cooked food. All the sounds mixed together. It feels very real, very local.
6, right? 8.
H，我看一下，8块钱的话是10块钱吧。
We walk around checking prices and passing snake fruit. It's my first time trying it. The skin is hard and a little bit strange, but the white flesh inside tastes quite fresh. There we try rambutan. The vendor is very friendly. It has this one already peeled.
I mean, 1 kilo. 1 kilo. Regarding it, gimana bro? Guidance for this one. This one. 11. 11. It's called 1 kilo. 1 kilo. 1 kilo. Satisfied. Okay. I don't want. Okay. Thank you.
We don't forget our final goal, durian. We find the durian stall.
How much is this one?
Kilo 30. 1 kilogram 30 ringgit.
30.
Yeah, very nice. You see? So, outside, this one selling for here. Outside. Yeah, only little half. I just selling discount for you.
他刚刚说是30吧，30就是50块钱，20多块钱一斤，那和国内没区别。
Same like that. Can open, can cut here, can eat here.
25。
Now only the next one. Come on,
40多块钱，性价比很一般。
But after checking the price, it's that much cheaper than back home, so we skip it. Outside the market, we buy sugarcane juice. In this heat, one that feels incredibly refreshing. We finish with the curious museum of the street stall. On a hot day like this, it really hits the spot.
这样就很热闹了。
After eating, we take a taxi back to our stay.
啊？有什么？我这个车牌怎么跟刚刚故事还有呼应呢？
Our one-day partnership ends just like that. No big goodbye, just a simple see you.
说再见很难，但是还是得说再见。
Because I have an early flight the next morning, I need to stay at the airport overnight. At KL Central, I run into some traffic. I want to take a cheaper train to the airport, but all that there is are direct trains. I try several times and start getting confused about as well. Just when I'm reading a beach mask, a staff member who's about to finish his shift stops to help me. He walks me to the correct route and even call over another staff member who speaks Chinese to double check everything. It's something I won't forget. It really lets me feel the warmth and kindness of Malaysia. I take the bus to the hotel at night.
Yeah. So 就是这样一个很小的房间，感觉没什么东西啊。
The room is small and simple, but it has everything I need.
开这个开灯，我空调怎么开呢？我空调有遥控器。哦，对这个，我这个好老实啊。
At that point, I didn't really care about carefully anymore. I just want to get some sleep. At around 3 a.m., I head back to the airport. Walking through the sky bridge, it feels like I'm the only one there. Inside the airport, there are already quite a few people. Printing my boarding pass. Security check. Boarding. Everything goes smoothly. Looking back, this day was actually quite rushed. I didn't spend much time in Kuala Lumpur, and there are many places I didn't get to see. But what stayed with me the most were the landmarks. It was the people. From the friend I walked with all day, to to the staff member who helped me at the station. Many encounters are very brief, so brief that you barely read anything behind, just a bit of an advertisement saying goodbye. But maybe life is like this. As long as you walk toward your own direction, you'll meet people who walk with you for paddles away. Even if you eventually head toward a different destination, this short moments together made the journey feel real, and it leaves the memory a little warmer. In the next episode, I'll return to Singapore for a transfer. This time, it won't be a solo adventure anymore.
If you enjoy honest, unfiltered travel stories, feel free to like and subscribe. I will see you at next stop.